Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Hearthstone. So, we need to get 5 victories with the Shaman and 5 victories with the Warrior is our hope. And then 2 more victories between the Druid and Rogue. Today we'll just do Shaman and Warrior. Shaman, casual. We didn't do too bad in our first recording of the session. Got 3 victories out of 5 that were needed, which is about the best we can average. I heard somebody was playing Hearthstone and that they were getting up to rank like 14 or something. And I'm like, what are they doing that I'm doing wrong? Am I just inherently bad at this game? I guess what it could be said is that I probably am inherently slightly bad at this game. I'm missing concepts, I don't have enough focus on it. Hearthstone deck tracker's not gonna fix that. So again, I don't feel like that's really giving me any actual advantage. I barely even look at it when I'm playing. It's mostly there for the viewers. But I think a big point too is I probably could make it to 14 if it was the only game I was recording. If I 5 days a week played at least an hour, if not a lot more on Hearthstone, I could probably get way higher. It's not unbelievable that that would be the case. It's just I wouldn't really have much fun with that. Probably the only reason why I've stuck with Hearthstone or been able to stick with Hearthstone as long as it has been is because I limit my time with it quite a lot. This is a game I play once every 3 days, which is still too much in my opinion, and just long enough to get all the quests done. There we go. So do I want to do 2 to 3 damage to all enemy minions? No, not yet. Not yet.
Did you bring some fish? Job's done.
So what do I do on the 4th turn? I think I don't have a choice. I have to do this and then this. This is our only real choice. Kill this guy. End the turn. What do I want to do? This guy? Just throw this guy out here. Kill this guy. End the turn. So, I guess it's worth mentioning that since the month of February is when this is being recorded, Valentine's Day is, I believe, tomorrow, as of the recording. I guess it is worth mentioning that I did not go through with the Valentine's month scheduling. So I've probably talked about this before, but I will cover it again. My plan was to do Broken Sword in the point-and-click adventures. Uh, this thought came to me before we did the Lego coverage, so pretty much as far as the Lego games, there is no real romantic story that could go into the Lego games. You could do Indiana Jones, I suppose, and maybe make some do some damage there with, because Lego Indiana Jones does have some girls that it kind of goes after, but not romantically, but not really. But for the point and click adventures, we were going to do Broken Sword. And I am going to do Broken Sword. I have almost all the games of Broken Sword. And oddly enough, there's a like fan-made game I'd like to play in there too.
So
kind of a spin-off. And then what else was I gonna do? Hearthstone wasn't really gonna change any, of course. I couldn't think of any 7 o'clock like AAA games that were going to be romance related. And then I was thinking maybe what I would do would be Honey Pop, which is a sex puzzle game, which I got that because I wanted to cover it at some point, and I will, but it's kind of hard to justify covering it considering what it is. So I was thinking Honey Pop at the 7 o'clock, Hearthstone, a Broken Sword on the point and click adventures, and then I would needed to find a small independent game that was about romance, and I guess I never really found that.
So many possibilities.
So for next year, it's kind of all the same games for next year. I could potentially do a light visual novel and a small independent game and see if I could run through that really fast. Clannad is coming out to Steam pretty soon, so if it comes out and I get it for next year, that would be an interesting one. I would assume I would do that in the independent thing. And then for the You Don't Know Jack time slot, this again was before I started doing You Don't Know Jack scheduling.
I enjoy raiding.
I could potentially, I would still be doing You Don't Know Jack, I guess. I don't remember what was really in that time slot. It seemed like there was just 2 time slots that we got to where we were doing small independent games, which kind of makes sense to continue doing that. In a lot of ways, it makes a lot of sense to continue doing that. I might have been doing like rogue-like games. Maybe Rogue Legacy was in that time slot. That certainly is a thought. I hadn't thought of this until just now, but if instead of...
There is a lot at stake here.
Let's see.
High tide.
Like, yeah, instead of You Don't Know Jack, why am I not playing something like Binding of Isaac? Something that I would enjoy, something we could go through for like 100 episodes. I don't know if I really should be playing Binding of Isaac again though. If all things are gonna be left to the... Alright, let's do the math here. Everything goes up to +6. Can I take out these two guys? I don't think I can. Come on, win. Darn it. Do I want to play this? Do I even need to play it? I mean, like, when I do this, it takes that guy out. And that guy. That guy.
Elements I like.
But I lost.
Totems I love.
Like, too late. I lost. Nothing would have won. I'm just gonna well play that. I don't know what they did there because I was too busy talking, but whatever they did, they certainly beat me. Where's Warrior? Here? It's an interesting thought. I still have like Rogue Legacy installed on my computer, but I probably should just uninstall it at this point. Just move on. There's an achievement there. There's like 5 achievements there that I'm probably never gonna get. And I don't feel like I should just try and unlock every single upgrade on it right now. I think I probably should just put that away and come back later. Because yeah, if I came back a year from now and just wanted to play it off screen because I had played everything else, that's fine. Same is true for Portal 2. I tried to do the co-op with a random person, and it's just completely awful. Awful experience. It's not something you would want in a recording. The guy could not even figure out the controls for the first 5 seconds of the game and disconnected before he even got to the first puzzle. I'm like, yeah. So, no good there.
No problem.
Any co-op game that really requires co-op, I'm gonna have to have somebody who's gonna sit right beside me. Just local co-op. Or, at the very least, I could give them another computer and they could be on my same network, so in a different room, playing co-op. And that's kind of what I feel about competitive too. So Borderlands is gonna be weird because I'm gonna either have to firewall that or just play single, and I think you can just say I want to play alone, or friends only at the very least. And since I don't have any friends to mention that would be playing Borderlands when I was playing Borderlands on Steam, I think that's all gonna work well. Whenever a minion takes damage, gain +1 attack. I'll play that first.
Job done.
Next turn I'll play this and this. Actually, I could have taken out this guy. Darn it! Darn the luck. This and this will be 3 and this will be 5. Play.
Something up.
Perfect move. Upgrade. Attack. In the turn. I also would like to try to do, like, go through everything through Pac-Man Championship Edition DX, but I think I've already uninstalled that, and if I haven't, I need to. Just, like,
Ready to flee.
truth of it is, it's just not worth the effort.
Job done.
It's not worth the risk, really, is what it's not worth. It's not worth the risk of breaking my new controller like my old controller. I'd almost only feel comfortable plugging in the old controller and playing that, because that is an intense thing. Plus, it would just wear out my hands. I mean, I can try and protect my controllers every day, every night, but it's damaging my hands too. And it's a shame I don't have that weapon destroy. But
Moving.
I think I've got this in the bag. Play this and this next turn. So they should have charge.
To my side.
And he should have charge. So ideally I want all 5 of these to hit this guy. And then 1 to hit the face. That's what I want.
Did someone say bomb?
Darn it. So whenever this minion takes damage,
Stop moving.
Practice makes perfect.
kill this guy
Oh, you guys.
Done.
in the turn. What's he gonna do now? Unless he plays like Reno Jackson. I guess technically I can't do any damage here. Wow, I may lose. I may lose for being just slightly off. Darn it. So what's the next thing after after the next holiday? Well, I think President's Day, probably not gonna do anything. President's Day is not particularly a super big holiday. I've just lost the game.
Job done.
Amazingly enough. To no one's amazement, really. And then I think we're back to Easter. And I think we've already done a picture for Easter. So now the question is, I'm gonna have to get with my artist after yelling at him on here. He doesn't listen. He doesn't watch these. I know he doesn't. So I can complain about him all I want. And that's just office garbage anyways. You always complain about people when they're not around. But I'll have to get back with him and see if he wants to do a new Easter thing, or if he's just gonna take the lazy option and use the same image. But I want to phrase it as, you've done this for a year now. Can you now make all the things again?
I will fight
all
with
of this year.
for Doomhammer.
And work through that and get it done quicker, so that maybe this year of 2016 you could actually do some other work besides making what was probably 6 or 7 holiday pictures. 1 year's works, 6 or 7. Single 1080p, not even that. Some of them weren't even 1080p. One of them wasn't, at least. Anyways, that's dangerously getting close to ranting about my worthless artist again. As far as holidays go for any thematic months, it doesn't seem like it works, particularly for Valentine's Day. If 2017 is going to be anything like 2016, as far as games coming out, it feels... Are these totems? Nope. If it's gonna be anything like, if 2017 is anything like 2016, new games are gonna sort of come out in January. So, plus the whole scheduling and catching up thing is gonna be its own thing.
One day,
I don't
be
know.
a real knight.
I guess in a lot of ways it's just down to how everything gets done, and it's just way too early to see.
Well met.
If I am by around December 31st, 2016, almost or over a year in advance, then let's see. Arrow pins won't really do anything. We'll play that. It keeps that guy alive.
Real swords.
If I'm a year in advance, then yes, thematically for the retrospective games, the games that I am mostly releasing now. The only games I haven't released that wouldn't be a retrospective game would be The Witness. That's the only game that's been new that I've covered. If I'm a year ahead, then yes, I could do thematic on the retrospective ones, and it probably wouldn't matter that much. It also sort of depends, though, on...
We're using real swords.
things. It depends on what games are coming out in 2017. And we don't have anything announced yet. It's not... What's got it... Let's see. I guess E3 needs to happen, and once E3 happens and we get some at least general numbers about when games are coming out, at that point I could start to think about
We're using real swords.
spell damage. I'll play this even though it's probably the wrong move. Because the reason why certain games came out in January 2016 is because their sequels were coming out. And like Tomb Raider, in theory, was released to, I don't think it was released quite at the right time because things got moved around on the schedules, and that's going to be a constant issue. But I can only do so much to that. I cannot assume that every game is going to get delayed just because most games get delayed.
There is a lot at stake.
Attack. Attack. Take that. So if they say that Tomb Raider 3, which is unrealistic, comes out in 2017, January 2017, then I would be covering Rise of the Tomb Raider at a slightly higher expense than what I would prefer, but still probably an acceptable
Totems I
cost.
love.
Alright, this guy's gotta go. Do we want to just kill both these guys, I guess?
Job done.
I guess that works.
I am freed from the curse.
Reporting for
But
duty.
it's more realistic that Tomb Raider 3 comes out in 2018 of January for PC. Let's see. This, and do we need another guy right now? No, we don't.
Totally.
So we'll do that in the turn. So, yeah, it's not until E3 happens that we start to build any announcements of anything. They're much more likely to just sneak out a new game if they're going to not announce it before then. How do we want to go about this?
Fine, I'll want.
Kill this guy,
Fine,
kill
I'll
this guy.
Totally.
Attack here. Do I want to kill this one? Or just hit this one? Let's just hit that one. It's a shame if you were playing a priest and you could play this card
Reporting for duty.
and you had the Arachni Soul Priest out, you could do potentially 14 damage to the face. But that would be a very difficult way of doing it. You'd have to get very, very lucky. It'd be so random that it would be a situation of just unrealistic expectations.
Fine, I'll want.
So
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
here we go. We'll do this, and we'll win the game. So what's not particularly part of the plan or on the table as far as 2017? What I would not like to do, is, because I'm already committed, I've already bought a bunch of Steam games, even if I did play and cover every single Steam game that was in my library before 2017, I just don't really feel like that is how I'd want to do it. I'd hate to get rid of all 5 of my time slots. Well, 4 of the 5 of them.
Victory or
And
death!
just play Hearthstone and just play new games. That's what everybody else kind of does. They just chase after the new game, chase after the new game. And I don't want to just be a rat in that rat race.
Job's done.
I am a rat in that rat race whenever I chase any of the new games, because that does get me way more views than the old games. But I also want my channel to be slightly... I'm hoping it hits all 3 here. Darn it. Darn the luck.
Someday I'll be just like you.
But I want the old games to stay. Until my channel is full of every single old game that I would ever realistically play or cover. I want this tradition of doing the retrospectives to stay. Now the curve on how old an old game is gonna start going up and up and up. Right now we're covering some pretty old games. In fact, some of the games are just so old that I made a category of too old here. And there are certain factors that come into play that will certainly potentially eliminate a game from being played. For instance, I have Skyrim. If I can't get around to playing Skyrim before Skyrim 2, which is not what it's going to be called. It's going to be called Elder Scrolls something else, because that's the Elder Scrolls series. But whatever the next big Elder Scrolls game comes out, which probably won't come out for a couple of years, if that one came out and I could afford the new one, I'd just play the new one and be like, alright, I'm done. I've done enough as far as the Elder Scrolls series. And in the same mentality, I really don't have any intention of ever playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Fallout 3 is also kind of in that same factor. I don't know if I actually have Fallout 3 right now, but if I do, then
Job's done.
if I have Fallout 3 right now and I haven't played it, it is now the big question: should I just buy Fallout 4 and play it, or should I just play Fallout New Vegas 2? That's a good question, because Fallout New Vegas in a lot of ways is different. If I have enough time, it would probably be worth it to play Fallout 3, then play let's see. What do we want to do here?
Back to work!
Oh, I should have bought that guy out. Oh well. Yeah, if I had time, play Fallout 3 and then compare it to Fallout 4. Or play Fallout 3 and compare it to Fallout New Vegas and compare it to Fallout 4. But then you're talking like 600 hours there for just those games. And
I bring life.
let's see. This one.
Back to work!
This one. This one. So So I've got 4. Kill that character. Killed that face. Hit enter. One of the games that
Someday I'll be just
I'm
like you.
interested in is if a Bully 2 ever comes about. It's right there with Grand Theft Auto. That's just a question. Let's see. To play this. Play this.
Defend yourself!
Take this guy out. Take this guy out. In the turn. Now he's got nothing.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
Sadly, I can't play this guy. Alright. Let's attack here. And then, well, that doesn't seem like that's gonna...
Defend yourself!
Got the victory, good. Whatever that was, I didn't trigger it. That's just 1. We're not doing great. I'm gonna have to play some of that off screen, I think. I think I'll take a little bit of a break, play off screen. That is certainly a window to listen to more podcasts. I'm going to talk about a podcast that I've been listening to, and it's going to be slightly surprising if people have been paying attention.
Thrall
But
versus Rexa.
because I surprised myself that I was listening to it.
Begin for Doomhammer.
But I guess I'll talk about it right now instead of teasing it for next time. I've started listening to the Jimquisition podcast, and I've complained about Jim Sterling being a drama queen, and I'm not sure I particularly think that that's not true.
Job's done.
He says he's putting on a persona when you watch him on YouTube. That Jim Sterling is not quite the same, the real Jim Sterling, but I'm not sure I particularly believe there's a massive amount of difference between the two. And listening to him in the podcast, he's not super different, really. He's a little toned down, I will say that. So it surprised me quite a lot when I started listening to it. But I'm listening to it and I'm giving it a chance. And I haven't been completely repulsed by it yet.
Job's done.
So that's an interesting turn of events. Now, as I'm going through all the old ones, maybe I will turn around and do that. And apparently they talk about it several times that he gets a Patreon of $10,000 a month, which is a good amount. Man, if I had that, I could do a lot more than probably he does. That's the shame of it, really, though, is that random people get breaks, not particularly deserving people. Sometimes it is deserving people get the breaks, sometimes it isn't. It's random. And I tell you, if I had a Patreon of $2,000 a month, I would be set. If I had 10,000, I'd be spending 8,000 of that just like on equipment and say eventually it would just be going to savings accounts and retirement accounts. Really, straight up, because like $2,000 probably pays all my bills in a month. Probably a little bit more than that, but not by much. Let's try this and hope it does 3 for this guy. Good. Yeah, I don't know what I could do with the next 8,000. Do I buy a virtual reality headset for every single one? Do I soundproof the room I'm in more? I don't know if I even need to do that until I get a better sounding audio equipment. It's not until you get, ironically, it's not until you get a better microphone that you start hearing any of the noise that's going on. I could spend probably $8,000 on my computer one time, but after that there's nothing more. I would have to build a completely second computer to do that. Even trying to stay up on hard drive space doesn't help. I would be rolling in so much money. I'd probably spend $1,000 a month just on advertising, which is something you can do, although I don't know if I should ever do that. Just advertising my channel through YouTube. There seems to be definitely some people on YouTube that will put their entire show as an ad and just try to get you to watch it that way. I've seen them where it's like, this ad is 5 minutes long and it's an entire bit of This Week Tonight or whatever that show is, or something else like that. Now, one of the problems I think with it is if you make a skippable ad and people skip it, then you don't pay for it. So, in theory, if you put an ad for, there's one for Monster Energy drink, where at the very beginning it talks about Monster Energy drink, and then it kind of veers off into discussion for another like 20 minutes and just goes on and on and on, and it's like, this is really long. So effectively you've seen the ad and they want to get free, they don't want to pay for the ad, so they'll make it super long. And YouTube really needs to fix that. They need to have some hard limits on the length of an ad can be. It feels like I've seen, let's just kill this guy. I've seen ads that are longer than the videos that they're watching them, and that's not right. That is not right. Nobody should ever have to watch a 20-minute ad or a 10-minute YouTube video. And no, you're not going to convince people to join YouTube Red by harassing them that way.
There is a lot at stake here.
It's just not going to work that way. What you're going to do is convince people to stop going to YouTube altogether. Darn it. Well, this is going to be our last game for today. Not for today, but for this recording. And I'm going to play off screen. I'm going to see if I can get everything up to one victory needed. And then we'll have a good chance in our third recording. I don't need extra recordings of Hearthstone right now. At least I don't feel like I do.
There
It
is a
feels
lot
like
at
a lot more
Greetings,
of other things need to get recorded. Ideally, if I could just put these off, put these quests off and not potentially lose gold, that would be nice. Yeah, if I had an extra $8,000, I'd have somebody play Hearthstone for me. I'll hire an artist and say, you got 2 jobs: make all the art I need and play Hearthstone. Just play on my account, get me gold. As much as you want. Make sure you get all the quests done.
I wonder.
I would certainly be more open to trying something like Twitch if I had somebody that could cover the chat and just be a general assistant. It's like, look at the chat, read it out, ask questions. Because if you're gonna do a Twitch stream, Twitch streaming is more about interacting with the people there than it is about anything else. Play this, play this.
You face death.
So, I mean, yeah, every 3 victories get you 10 gold. If I had somebody actually playing non-stop every day, they would probably gold farm quite a bit. That'd be ridiculous, and I'd have more important work to do for them than probably that. But, anywho, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe. Comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.